Popcorn Channel, the secret to savoring the cinema in one bite. Long ago, in Kanzaki, about 5,000 years ago, there existed a nation that thrived year after year, becoming the center of power and knowledge in the world. One day, however, a mad tyrant named Agena arrives and takes control of the city. He is an enthusiast of black magic with a sinister plan in mind. His goal is to create the crown of Sabake, and with the help of the magic from 6 evil creatures, he will be invincible. To achieve his objective, he needed a jewel known as the Stone of Eternity, so he enslaved people to find it. One day, while excavating, a slave discovered a precious stone. When everyone saw that he had found it, they gathered and wanted to take it for themselves. However, a young man with leadership qualities, respected by all, said that they should not fight among themselves because their enemies were elsewhere. So, he went with his master and took the stone to the king's soldiers, who said the king thanked him for his service. However, to receive payment, the old man pushed the soldier off the cliff and killed him. Not satisfied, he turned to the boy and tried to do the same to him. However, his father arrived and begged for mercy to allow his children to return to work, hoping that one day they would be free from the king's hands. The boy is hopeful and unafraid of his enemies, saying that they need another hero. Then he ran, took the stone from the soldier's hand, passed through the slaves, and reached the top of the mountain. He then showed the discovery to everyone so that they could all have the same hope. However, he was taken to the king to be executed. However, at the moment he was being executed, something happened. He disappeared quickly and reappeared in a strange room containing a giant magic stone. Powerful wizards and guardians of the land are also present. One of them said that the boy was chosen. He then quickly inherited the powers of the ancient gods: stamina, speed, strength, wisdom, courage, and power. After making their choice, they spoke the word Shazam, and soon all the power was linked to the boy's body, transforming him into the king's palace. A servant brings the crown of Sabake, ready for the king to use, but the powerful hero arrives. A battle between light and darkness causes the entire palace to be destroyed. Unfortunately, the crown is taken and kept in secret so that no one else can use its dark powers. After that, the renowned champion was never seen again, but the voice narrating tells us that if ever the day comes when they need him again, he will return. In the modern era, a boy named Ramon skateboards through the streets, while mercenaries from a dangerous gang called the Inter Gang control many areas of the city of Kandak for the past 20 years to extract the Eternity mineral. This mineral is the same as it was 5,000 years ago, extracted from forging Dark Crown. However, the mineral is now also used by international gangs to manufacture weapons and vehicles. When a group of people was blocked at the city's entry and exit command post, Ramon was blocked because he wanted to pass by the mercenary guards. The guards ordered the boys to go to the back of the line, but Raymond angrily asserted that they were only here to steal the country's wealth. The guard temporarily ignored him and let Ramon pass, canceling the inspection of the man's car. The guard's computer indicated that a woman named Isis should be isolated, but without checking the car, it became clear that she was hidden there. Ramon approaches the car, and it quickly becomes apparent that they set this up so he could distract the guards, and his mother could stay in the car unnoticed. The boy wanted to go with them to help, but Isis said he couldn't go now and told him to go back home. In the car, Isis looks at a necklace her grandmother gave her, with a fragment of the eternal god. One of the men sees this and suggests that it would fetch a good price on the black market. Interested, he asks her to demonstrate the power of the stone, but she says it hasn't been refined for such a purpose. He insists and questions where she and her grandmother got it. Isis then explains that it has been passed down from generation to generation since Kandak was a free people. At dawn, Ramon arrives at a location with excavations taking place, but his destination is different, specifically a mountain where they believe the crown of Sabake is located. Ismael, Isis's assistant, decides to go with her and another man. Isis, knowledgeable about the writings, enters the mountain with her companions. At some point, Ismael disappears, and another goes to look for him. Hearing music from outside, Kareem, Isis's brother, who had stayed in the car keeping watch, sees his colleague falling from the top of the mountain. He gets out of the car to try to help, but the injured man can't say what happened. Surprised by several mercenaries, Isis is alarmed by her assistant, who is very curious to find the crown. She finds a writing that talks more about the champion who defeated the former king Akhenaten, who used the power of the crown. They come across a chamber where the crown floats, and Isis, wasting no time, climbs on the rocks to grab it. Even afraid of falling into the abyss below the crown, she jumps and manages to get it. Suddenly, she is startled to see several mercenaries holding her brother and Ismail, demanding the crown. She runs, hides, but her brother is threatened. With no other choice, she decides to hand over the crown.
Mas antes Isis lê uns escritos antigos no chão e seu colar começa a brilhar. Quando então, depois de falar a última palavra, que era Shazam, um raio chega devastando todo o lugar. Quando a poeira baixa, vemos o homem encapuzado agachado e aquilo deixa os mercenários amedrontados em posição de ataque sem entender nada. Um deles se aproxima e dá o azar de tentar abordá-lo. Quando então logo o conhecido campeão como Adão Negro o agarra e com seu poder o eletrocuta até seu corpo virar apenas ossos secos. Então, vendo que o ser é muito poderoso, eles abrem fogo contra ele, que não lhe causa dano algum, e diz que a magia deles é fraca. Logo ele começa a flutuar e Isis com seu irmão saem do local. Adão Negro com facilidade derrota alguns deles, que nem se escondendo conseguem escapar. Ismael, vendo a caixa onde foi guardada a coroa, a pega, porém vê que não estava mais ali, quando então é aparentemente esmagado por várias rochas. Isis ia sendo esmagada também, porém Adão Negro a salva e logo vai em busca de matar todos os outros mercenários que vieram para dar reforço. Isis e seu irmão conseguem sair do local enquanto Adão Negro vai enfrentar o exército.
Despite being hit by 2 destructive missiles, no damage was incurred. After that, he will begin to destroy weaker enemies with his high speed. Everything slows down for him, and he becomes invincible. He used his electrical powers to attack Isis's truck, splitting the powerful truck in half and cutting through the mercenary army. He easily defeats them by using their weapons against themselves. Then, to everyone's surprise, everything explodes. Returning to normal speed, he stopped in front of Isis's car. He approaches them and observes. Karen then realizes that one of the soldiers is preparing a rocket and warns Adam. Adam immediately grabs the medallion. But he realized a little too late, as this newcomer was made to last. The explosion was small, but it soon became clear that it shocked him and destroyed his cape. Enraged, he destroys the man and soon gets injured as well. He flies quickly, but not for long. He loses consciousness and falls to the ground. Returning to the mountain, we see a soldier asking for help. However, his boss, who is actually Ismail, does not assist and then kills him. He talks to his soldiers who fly and ride motorcycles with Eternian-based technology very fast, heading towards him. Meanwhile, in an operations center, a guy named Carter sees the havoc that Black Adam has been wreaking. Soon, he inquires about the superhumans to Ms. Amanda Waller, saying that the new being has been asleep for over 5,000 years, and before he adapts to the new era, they must take him down. So, they prepare, and she orders the team to assemble. The first is a young woman named Cyclone, who manipulates the wind. The other is Atom Smasher, with powers inherited from his uncle. He can grow enormous. Amanda wants someone more experienced, so Carter calls Heat, the magic manipulator, also known as Dr. Fate, who possesses a golden helmet that sees an uncertain future and becomes the most powerful sorcerer. Finally, Hawkgirl, Catter, calls everyone to his huge mansion. This group of heroes is known as the Justice Society. They then head to Hawkman's ship, and there he says they will apprehend what they classify as an A-class metahuman in the city of Kendaka. They enter the ship, where Hawkman mentions that it is entirely made of an indestructible metal known as nth metal. Then, he heads to the cockpit, and the others settle in. They leave the village and head to their destination. Meanwhile, Black Adam wakes up from a nightmare and unleashes bolts of lightning, frightening Ramon, who was watching. The boy talks to him and mentions that everyone knows about him in Kamakochi, but he doesn't care and tells the boy to stay out of his way. However, he soon realizes and Ramon informs him that he has been asleep for 5,000 years. He explores the city before his mother wakes him up, but he doesn't recognize it as before. Isis returns home and retrieves the crown that her unsuspecting brother is wearing on his head. Fortunately for him, it doesn't matter. Next, Isis grabs him and goes to read the inscription engraved on him. Black Adam sits and listens to Ramon talk about the content of the book until a statue is erected in Ramon's honor. Ramon further asserts that after his disappearance, the freedom sought since antiquity was thwarted by those who always wanted to control the city. The boy then says that they needed a hero to help them and explains that Black Adam is stronger than any existing superhero but never came to help. Adam doesn't pay much attention and decides to break the wall and destroy the TV, believing it to be a threat. Upon seeing Isis, he talks to her because she's the one who woke him up. He says he destroyed all his enemies, but Ramon tells him that he defeated more than just his enemies. Isis asked him to help the mercenaries, but Adam ignored her and went to the ship. Hawkman, who tells him about his plan to confront Adam, says it's not a good idea. Cyclone asks how they're going to defeat Adam, but Kent, who doesn't know much about Adam's powers, says they'll have to make Adam say the word Shazam to turn his powers on and off. Meanwhile, Black Adam flies through the city to his statue, which still exists, and complains about what happened in the past. At that moment, Ramon quickly passed the guard, grabbed the walkie-talkie, and announced to everyone in the group that the city now had a new hero. Then, he escapes from the guard and gets close to the statue. He asked for Adam's help, but the wind did not move. Soon the guards arrived and arrested him. His mother, recognized by the accomplice, also arrived. But thinking quickly, he raised the skateboard toward the man's face to escape. But soon they were surrounded. Adam then arrives to intervene, and the foolish mercenary takes an iron bar to the head. Obviously, this means nothing to him. He then throws it away while Ramon and his mother exit the scene. The soldiers opened fire on Adam while he stood still, and while everyone surrounded him, Adam quickly defeated them by shooting lightning from his hands. He goes to talk to Ramon, but he is shot by 2 snipers in one of the watchtowers. But Adam soon noticed them and took them away. Meanwhile, realizing that something powerful is ahead, he boards Hawkman's ship and captures the 2 mercenaries, letting them go when he realizes they've arrived behind them. Carter, Hawkman, manages to capture the 2, and his suit covers him like armor. In the streets, he tells the residents that the mercenaries must be eliminated before they turn against them. But so far, Adam has condemned the 2 to death. Destiny immediately comes to Adam and tells him that there is no place in the world for such power, and he must surrender. However, Adam, who was a slave throughout his life until his death and was chosen to be reborn as a god, wouldn't bow or submit to anyone, and he was struck by lightning. Destiny created illusions that later influenced his mind, haunting him with beautiful scenes from the past. Then Hawkman arrives and kicks him hard, hitting him and throwing him into the building. Hawkman then tries to hit him with a club, but Adam defends himself and attacks him forcefully, throwing him with strong punches and hammer blows, starting the fight. Atom Smasher and Cyclone are ready to dedicate time to help the veteran. Hawkman focuses his attacks on Adam and pushes him backward, making him fall heavily to the ground. After that, Destiny called the youth and entered the scene. The clone used various pieces of iron from the wreckage to create a tornado and shot it at Adam, but Adam dodged all of them. He was then surrounded by metal, but used his powers to push away all the metal. Destiny quickly rescues Isis and Ramona from the danger zone. He touched Isis's bag and felt that there was evil in it. He then asked if she had the Savarka crown. Destiny goes to help Hawkman and temporarily restrains Adam with his magic. Soon, his clone calmed him down while preparing something. Hawkman launches the machine, but it is destroyed by Adam's lightning powers. Seeing everyone turning their backs on him, Adam used a lot of energy and created explosions around him to scare away his enemies. As they prepare for another powerful attack, the huge Atom Smasher arrives behind him with incredible strength and knocks Black Adam to the ground with a powerful blow, restraining him. They then congratulate the launch team, but unexpectedly the ground starts to shake and soon Adam comes out and fights back, leaving the giant unconscious. Then the people began to praise their champion Adam, who freed them from the power of the Savarkar dynasty. Adam then heads to the castle ruins and the Justice Society must recharge and find more power. Kent goes to Isis and asks for Sabek's crown, but she doesn't want to give up and says she won't go because Adam is Kandak's champion and the crown isn't with him. Here we see that it was Ramon who brought him to another place. Carter warns Isis that Black Adam is not what they think. Because the Justice Society holds an ancient secret manuscript that claims that Adam and his wrath almost destroyed the city of Kandak in the past, and that they are now there to prevent that from happening again. Then they went to the temple to talk to him. Isis asks to continue and tries to question Adam about the past he heard about in the society. There he went to take revenge on the king who enslaved his people and destroyed everything around him without control. He was later deemed unworthy to wield such power by the Witches' Council, sacrificing himself and being imprisoned in the mountains, as misuse of such destructive power could cause further pain and suffering. Then it ends with people saying they like it, but it's all a lie. But Adam soon said he didn't want to be a hero. But Isis says that despite everything that has happened, she can still be the hero she wants to be. Black Adam finally decided to speak to the Justice Society, but he also spoke about his desires. Inside, when Ramon arrived home and ran into him, while Ismael and his uncle were about to speak, he didn't say anything about the crown. However, Ismael is too late. Ismael quickly grabs the backpack with the crown, attempts to negotiate, and confronts Ismael. Ramon manages to grab the backpack and escape, but his uncle is shot. At that moment, Carter arrives, informing Adeo that they came for a peaceful surrender. Adeo refuses, leading to a new battle. Meanwhile, Isis receives a call revealing that Ismael came to their house, shot her uncle, and is now hiding with the crown. She pleads with Adeo to save her son, appealing to his compassionate nature. Adeo decides to rush to Isis's house to rescue the boy. Ramon tries to escape but is tracked and cornered by mercenaries. As they take him to Ismael, Adeo Negro intervenes, saving Ramon and preparing to face his enemies. Unfortunately, Ismael appears and captures Ramon. Adeo Negro finishes defeating the mercenaries but realizes that the hand has been captured. He follows Ismael, who speeds away on one of the flying motorcycles. Adeo continues the pursuit, surpassing their speed, but struggles to locate the boy among the various motorcycles. Gavillo enters the scene, flying toward one of the motorcycles using the infrared in his armor but fails to find the boy. The chase leads to the sea, where Adeo manages to catch and destroy one of the motorcycles. Meanwhile, Senor Destino checks Isis's brother's future destiny, assuring him he won't die there. As the pursuit continues, one motorcycle enters high speed, but Adeo catches up and knocks it down. However, when attempting to retrieve the boy, he discovers he's not there. In reality, the boy is with Ismael inside a truck, heading to another location where Ismael prepares to face Adeo. Without mercy, Adeo seizes the mercenary and throws him away. Senor Destino appears and asks Adeo to take the prisoner so he can enter his mind and find the boy. Unfortunately, it's too late. In Gavillo's ship, Cyclone uses his technology and powers to aid Isis's brother. Back at home, Isis worries about her son. Adeo arrives, followed by Gavillo, bringing two prisoners for Destino to probe their minds. This time, Adeo takes them high into a storm cloud, threatening to release them if they don't reveal the hand's whereabouts. Gavillo ensures no further deaths, but Adeo acts against his wishes, leading to a confrontation. After a heated fight, Adeo's hand becomes magically energized, revealing a hidden compartment. Inside, they find the Sabake crown and bring it to the ship. The inscription suggests that death is the only path to life, though its exact meaning remains unclear. Realizing they must work together for the greater good, they later rest while heading to the desert, where they obtained information from the mercenaries. Kant suggests that they should approach Carter and talk about fighting alongside Adam rather than against him. Carter expresses concern about the future, where he comes from, but refrains from revealing whether Adam truly dies. He questions if it is destiny speaking, and Kant responds that regardless of who they are, there is still time for a change. As they approach the mine, a large mining company, Gavillo provides instructions on how to attack the location. Despite the odds, Adam decides to go alone towards the mercenaries' army. The mercenaries see him and begin to attack, but Adam, against all odds, successfully defeats everything in his path. Ismael reaches the mine but fails to penetrate it due to a protective barrier made of pure Eternian. As the others arrive, they hear Ismael asking for the crown. Carter denies having it, and when Ismael threatens with the hand, they say that it will be proven if Isis brought the crown. Carter claims he will give it to Gavillo. Isis tries to intervene, but Adam senses that he has a plan and decides to help by stopping Hawkeye and Destino, allowing Isis to pass through the barrier. Ismael now holds the crown in his hand and delivers a speech, "Death is the only way." Life phrases we've heard again only make sense after reaching Ismael. "Thank you, and let this be the last descendant of the king, Renata, now with him." He states that the crown is a family inheritance stolen from their family, and only he, a mage, can handle it to rule. Ismael also mentions a boy marking Adam's past life. His death brought much sorrow to Adam, and now the same fate awaits Ramon. Ismail deactivates the shield and shoots Ramon, prompting Black Adam to try to save him. Swiftly, Adam manages to block the shot, and everyone takes cover. Furious, Adam uses his powers to confront Ismail, who thought he could control the crown. The place explodes with intense energy as Adam breaks free. Following the events, Destino takes the unconscious Ramon and Isis with him. Adeo leaves the scene, and Gavallo continues searching for the crown. He discovers Ismail, burnt, with the crown seared onto his chest. Gavallo approaches Adeo Negro, who, thinking he has seen him fight again, asserts that no one can stop him. Gavallo, suspicious of Ismail's words, questions Adeo about who Root is. Adeo reveals that Root was the true champion of Kandak, and memories of his past reveal that Root was his son. However, after Root attempted to seize the eternal power, the king imprisoned and ordered his death. Adeo, attempting to save him, was powerless to do so alone. At the last moment, the sorcerers immediately chose him as their champion and saved him from there, regardless of how angered he was. However, infuriated by this, he withdrew, ordering them to go after his family and kill them all. When Ruth arrived home and saw almost everyone dead, leaving only Adam, who was severely injured, he approached his father and decided to save him by transferring all his power to him. However, as the enemies were already there, Rules returned to being a normal boy, accidentally killed by an arrow. What else could Adam do if the island was occupied? Anger turns into fear. After Black Adam tells his sad story, the story of losing a son who wanted a better world, and that's why Adam was there with all his strength, causing only destruction and death. This Adam decided to give up his power and asked Hawkeye to stop him from saying the word Shazam again. Adam returned to his normal state, resembling his appearance from his time as a slave, and was then sent to prison. Arriving there, they are greeted by a woman who will be responsible for imprisoning Adam in a chamber where he will be submerged and unable to speak. Soon, it becomes apparent that there are many other dangerous prisoners in the same location. Meanwhile, Destiny has a vision as the lifeless body in the bag begins to heat up. When Hawkman asks what happened, Destiny informs him that nothing has changed. However, Destiny's visions clearly show Hawkman dying on Carter's ship. Isis discusses with Cyclone what Ismail said about the inscription on Sabac's crown, realizing that it was a plan from the beginning for Black Adam to kill him along with the crown. The magic in Adam was meant to lead to the underworld of demons to find the Stone of Finality, an artifact connecting the powers of evil beings with Ismail's life. Now, Ismail will become their champion. Ismail then revives, uttering the word Sabac and receiving an unknown power from those beings. The crown dissolves with its magic, transferring into the body of the monstrous and powerful champion of the underworld, Sabac. Hawkman, noticing the appearance of Sabac, heads towards him as he approaches the fallen throne of Kandak. Despite Hawkman's attempts to confront him, Sabac easily attacks, shattering Carter's ship, which crashes into the city. To face him when he arrives. Heroes and Destiny are the first to stand. Against the power of being with fire. Hellfire presses the heroes, but they work together, facing one another from their club. Shots fired as Cyclone throws a car into the water. Crushes Adam and steps on him, but nothing. This may lead to Sabac's deterioration, soon disappearing due to theft. Novato and Eagle attack successful. Fight and damage him with their axe. But Sabac retaliates and throws him away, fighting against the building and moving forward to the throne, where he will have his. Hawkman rises again. Destiny tries to stop him. Carter doesn't care about his destiny and stands together. Together with the newcomers, they face Sabac. However, the power of magic is more potent than the destiny of any of them will stop them, and forms a magical barrier around the throne. And said he saw a way to save the world. His friend, because he sees no other information. He decided to face his future. Inside the palace Sabac. Towards the throne, but in the presence of the Lord. Destiny arrived, facing him cannot help. Put him in canter and delay the enemy's entry. In Adam's mind and awakened him, saying, the fight that his son wanted. Begin to run away and then use his power. Destiny freed him from the capsule, and now he must face the guards and remove mouths and devices that prevent him from speaking. When he fights against Destiny, tell Adam that he has what it takes to destroy the earth, but he can also Use it to save it, so use Adam himself. The wounded man managed to crawl and swim upstream. At the same time, there is no more strength. Facing the evil of destiny. Fall and be subject to his own fate. Plane and the newbies arrive late. Too much to help your friend who is quickly struck by Sabakin. Then destroyed, leaving only his helmet. The three remaining heroes go. Face Sabake in its final form. Where your great effort causes a explosion controlled in the city of Isis and Ramon. Run through the streets and come across the legion of living beings and underworld. Controlled by Sabak cornered Isis. Prepare to try to fight when your brother arrives and helps them excitedly. Defeats some skeletons and flames. Ramon wants to help with the iron bar, but his mother says he can do something much better. Then he runs wild. Your mother fights with the skeletons in. Then we see that Ramon and the people are already without hope, so he does what? Champion symbol wear. At that moment Adam, who is unconscious, remembers the moments with your family where your son says Kandak doesn't need one. Hero be free the people, then united do the signal as the heroes take a nice beating from Sabuk in your mind. Son asks him to say the word Shazam, where soon the power returns to the his body feels bad and catches Gavayo and leaves him without the possibility of fighting, and seeing that the people are against his reign, he overthrows statue of the champion on them. However, when the people were being crushed, Adam appears with its restored appearance and rolls up statue, then crushes Adam. Appears and helps Adam, thus freeing him to go after the enemy before Sabake breaks Hawkeye's wings. Adeo arrives quickly and throws a solid punch at the Sabark monster, however rises and summons the battle of the world champions. Different and Atakato with its power where we see that he is very powerful, wounded, and little Adam, who without fear defends himself, counterattacks your opponent, who also other side proves to be tough in combat. Adam fights against the fire of Sheba that try to rip the crown off his head, who is very strong, dodges and counterattacks, throwing against the floor. Confronting him, saying that Adam is not a hero, is surprised by Hawk, who nails an iron beam, but it works. Far from being enough, consequently, Hawkeye is killed. But thinking that he had died, and was surprised again, because with the powers of the helmet using his magic, he deceived Sabake with a trick what fate used so many clones of Gavayo grab him and sit him on the throne. Soon Adam begins to take off the crown that he gave that monstrous power. Meanwhile, Isis and her son fight against the skeletons that do their bidding. Sabak then crushes Adam and Cyclone. They also arrive to help Adam with his fury and a lot of power, and knocks the shit out of throne, or splitting in half and sending to the underworld of demons. With this, the people of Kandak are happy with the victory of your champion after the fight, and if truly understand Black Adam, grateful to Lord Destiny, who was fundamental to the end of this war. Then soon the helmet of such power disappears, and Isis arrives, and Gavayo releases that they live together there, but warns Adam with the darkness that exists in him. However, Isis defends it by saying that this is darkness that makes him do what the heroes don't have the courage to do it. After this tense moment, Black Adam sits down on the throne to find out if he really wanted reign over Kandak, but remembering something that's a mistake, then he jumps and destroys the throne, saying that the people always had heroes, not needing leaders, but of a protector who from now on have someone to call when you need it. Film then ends showing a drone going to Adeo Negro. It was Amanda Waller, the head of the group, who commands the methods. She confronts him, saying that if he doesn't agree to stay in her prison now, he should only stay in Kandak, which never getting out of there would be the only chance I had. She would give him. Then confident Adam said no one on this planet can defeat him, but having her contacts, he says it's okay because he knows people who not from the earth without fear. Adam so send that everyone she wanted would come to him. Meets and destroys her drone right away, followed by the well-known and most famous of everyone, Superman, arrives, saying he wants have a chat with Adeo Negro.